exam is daunting. It's a lot. Hey KiaraIvory, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on this video because I know you're interested in what I have to say today. If you haven't done so already, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It's gonna part KiaraIvory, and hello to all new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining. Let's get right into today's video. So as you can see, background's different. Again, I am traveling. I've been traveling most of the year. See, I've got a lot of questions lately about marriage and family therapy and the licensing exam and internships, all that. I just got a lot of questions, so today I'm going to be answering some questions about the exam, just because I know there's some people who are about to take it, and since I've taken it so many times, I feel like I'm an expert in the exam. So I want to answer all those questions. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Some questions that I got from one of my subscribers about the exam, and I'm just going to answer them in hopes that they help somebody else out there. All right, so the first question: what type of questions seem to come out of left field or were very unexpected? Some of the questions that came out of left field were questions about genograms. So there were genogram questions on there that I didn't really prepare for, as far as studying the different aspects of a genogram. Like, you know, have like the general, you know, mom, dad, brother, sister, and then there's like zigzags and dashes and shaded and all of that stuff. Study all of that. Also things about the research, like ANOVA, ANCOVA, the research type of terms that we don't really study too much in the program. Those were really unexpected. Like, I knew they were coming, but when I saw them, I was like, oh, I should have studied that. So those were really unexpected. Other than that, most of the things that were on there, I pretty much already knew. So it was like 3 questions, so that was really nothing. Number 2, what areas did your study regimen not cover effectively in your opinion? Again, the program I took was therapistdevelopmentcenter.com, and that program pretty much covered everything that I needed to know. There was nothing that was left out. Nothing was a huge shock to me. I just wish I would have studied, again, like the research terms and the genogram diagrams better. But other than that, there was nothing that I wasn't prepared for. I literally went through the entire program and studied the entire thing, and just went through each part of it, and that really helped me out a lot. So again, I was really prepared for the exam. Right, and what questions were research related? So on the exam, the questions are most of the questions are scenario based. There really aren't any research type of questions on there at all. They're all like scenarios. Like, for example, to be like Mary and John coming to therapy to discuss argument issues. They have alcoholism going on, their kids are acting up. What would the therapist do first? That's kind of what the questions are like on the exam, and you have 4 answer choices and you choose the best one for the question. Again, there really aren't any research based questions on the exam. There are questions about like qualitative and quantitative data, but those are more recall based questions. So if you know what qualitative and quantitative data are, then you're going to be okay. It's nothing like math or anything like that. There's no math on the exam, so you don't have to worry about that. Did you study a lot for certain subjects but didn't end up seeing them both times you took the exam? No, mostly the first 2 times I took the exam, some of the questions were the exact same. Some of the modalities that I saw on both, or at least all 3 times I've taken the exam, are strategic, structural, constructivist, narrative, and Bowenian. Those were the 5 main theories or modalities that I saw on the exam. Now, I did study all of them, but most of the ones I saw were based around strategic, structural, constructivist, and a narrative therapy. What things stuck out to you as things you need to focus more on this time around? So I've taken it 3 times, and what I noticed is that the questions are pretty much the same. Not the same, but I did recognize that I had answered those questions before. Also, the program that I used, the Therapist Development Center program, it had mock exams on there, and those questions on the mock exams were very similar to the actual tests that I took. So nothing really stuck out to me that I needed to focus on more. I think the first time when I saw all that structural and strategic, I realized I need to focus more on that. So I just focus more on the modalities, as far as like understanding the language that each modality used. As far as narrative uses storytelling, deconstruction, strategic is more directives, structural is more joining with the families. So knowing the language, the wording that goes with each modality really helps, because the question stem will have the language of the modality in it, and the answer will reflect, you know, the question stem. So just learning the language of the modality really helped, and knowing what each modality is expected to do as far as change is concerned with the client. Did a lot of questions require knowledge about founders and important figures or dates in MFT history? No, there were absolutely no questions on that exam about founders, history, anything like that. I didn't really focus too much on that studying anyway, because I felt like it wasn't going to be on the exam, and the program I took didn't really say anything about that being on the exam. So I didn't focus on that, because there was really nothing. Literally, the exam is scenario questions, recognizing what you need to do as a therapist to make sure that the client is protected and taken well care of. There was no questions about any history. Does the exam let you skip ahead or go back? Yes, the exam does let you skip ahead, go back, and if you are unsure of a question, it also lets you mark the question, and when you're done at the end of the exam, you can go back and it'll go back and hit the questions that you marked. I will say, when you're taking the exam and you're unsure of a question, don't spend too much time on the question, because each question is only worth 1 point. There's no, oh, 5 points on this question, 2 points on this question. Every question is worth 1 point. So if you spend too much time on a question, you're gonna waste time, and you either might not finish, or you just will waste time on one question when you could go on to something else. So you can go back and forth between the exam. And the last one is, are you allowed to have a water bottle with you at your computer? No, at least where I took mine, I couldn't have any water, any snacks, nothing on me. So what I had to do is, I would take half the exam, so I would go all the way up to question 100, stop, well, at least leave my chair, take a break, get some water, eat like a banana to get my blood sugar going and give me some energy, go to the bathroom. Like, you have to create your own break in the exam, because the test doesn't break it in there for you, so you have to do it yourself. And then I came back, took the rest of the exam. By the last like 20 questions, my stomach was growling and I was so hungry. I had to focus on the exam because I was really thinking about what I wanted to eat, but I had to focus because I had 20 questions left. And you know, when we get to the end of something, you're like, oh my goodness, it's almost time, and you try to rush through the last few questions or so. Don't do that. Just take your time, focus, and you know, you go reward yourself with something to eat after you finish the exam. Last point is that the American Marriage and Family Therapy Review Board has a practice exam that you can take. I have not taken that practice exam before, but I'm assuming that it's kind of set up like the real exam, just like the program I took. I just think the program I took was a little more extensive as far as concerning what was going to be on the exam, and the way that it was set up really helped ingrain everything in my head. So again, I'm going to be doing that video next, so stay tuned for that. So if you have any questions about the MFT exam, you can email me at KiaraIvory with 2 Y's at gmail.com, and I'll feel free to answer them. And you can also find me on Facebook or Instagram at KiaraIvory, and I will answer your questions there. I'm willing to help because I know this exam is daunting. It's a lot, and I want to help give some insight or kind of relieve some of the anxieties that people might have taking this exam. So if I can help, I'll be happy to. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share this with all your friends, and I'll see you next video, you guys. Bye.